Blah, blah, blah. Still there?
Yep, still here.
Okay, so it paused for a moment when it started recording, so it sounds a little different. So let me pull up the emails from Eric. Let's go over here. So this stuff I took care of. Yeah, some of the stuff that they gave me for updates. I told Eric too, I said some of the stuff needs to be a little bit clearer. You know, if it's just a matter of deleting everything there and then making changes. And like they gave me an item for that SEDS page with a bunch of red line stuff. And I was like, it's not really for Mike or I to decide what content goes there. We need kind of the final, you know, output of what you want us to post, because otherwise we're having to go back and forth and say, well, what about this and what about that? And, you know.
Right. We don't need draft material. We need a definitive
exactly.
block of content.
Yeah. So the first one was this, and they gave me, of course, this file name. That it was a presentation, so I wasn't sure, you know, in terms of what the naming or what it needed to be. So I did upload it. I couldn't remember how to add it on here. Now that it's a past meeting, it shouldn't be so bad. But we just need to add, I don't know if it's like agenda minutes or what, you know, or not minutes, what item would be added for that presentation? Do we just add it as, you know, attachment presentation?
Well, yeah. Are they asking us to put the presentation on the committee member page here, or do they want it? You know, I guess I need to look at that email and see what she said.
It's from Jennifer. She said, I apologize for the late notice, but could you please post a presentation on the regional food system plan for today's EGTF meeting? And she provided this link, and that's this page that I had up.
Yeah.
And originally it was the agenda in here, and I thought I could find it to add, you know, the item in here, but I know that this was in a database and I couldn't find the right item and edit it. So
right.
I think my Dreamweaver was being funky on that.
Oh, so what you need to do is actually add this as an agenda attachment. Remember, when we first started working on this, they had that code in the database where 10 is for the agenda.
20 is for, and that's what I went through and I edited. So maybe if we pull up that, is this a Dreamweaver item?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. That is the database file where we.
And that's Sewer Pack Internet Databases.
Yep.
And then I went to this one here, right?
Correct. Yep.
And I just open it, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So what I did is then I went under, I think it was, no, not committees.
So committees will give you that number. I think was EJTF was what, 49?
49 or 48? 48. So I did make sure to open this up, but then I wasn't sure documents and committees. Oh, this one here. So this one here, so this is what I did, is I went and added this line item in here. I uploaded the file to the right location, and I added it as an agenda attachment for EGTF for that date, and it didn't show up.
Okay. Did you, after you closed this file, so you got the date there, October 7th, 2020. 20 is the number for the attachment. Everything looks good there. Did you do a put?
I saved it, and I thought I did. So I close out of this file, right?
Okay. Yep.
And then
that'll take you back to Dreamweaver. And
then I go to this specific file, right?
Correct. Yep.
And do a put.
Yep.
Said it does it, you know. So
yeah, no, it definitely should have worked.
Yeah, and it didn't when it was available. It didn't update here.
That's interesting.
Yeah, and that's where I was thrown off. So it's like, okay, I looked up the committee, I looked up the attachment type, I followed the same protocol as the other one. You know, I thought I did everything right, and that's where I was like, I don't know why the hell this isn't working. You know.
Yeah, no, that definitely should have worked. Oh, there is one thing you probably should have done. If you can go back into that file again, that NDB. And if we sort that committee ID and go down to 48 and look at all of the look at all of the attachments for that committee, entries and attachments.
Mm-hmm.
So you'll see there's that little descriptive.
Yeah.
What it tells what the link should say, what the wording for the link should say. We should probably add something in there for that.
Okay. I'm assuming then.
But that file should have. Let me think.
Yeah, and like I said, that's what was really screwing me up is that nothing showed up there. I was like, come on, I thought I'm doing it right.
But there is, if you, and I don't want you to pop back there now, but when we go back and look at the sewer pack committee page, there was a gap there for. So I'm thinking maybe what happened was we just don't have a description in there. See how under agenda there's a space for it, but there's not there's no wording. So let's go back into the MDB file and let's call it.
Now I gotta find it. So 48. How are these sorted? 2007, 2008, 2009, 10, 15, 16, 20.
Okay.
That's weird. Now it's a different committee. Oh, here it is. So it's
okay.
I have it at agenda attachment. I wasn't sure what the name should be, but let's
So we could call it something like presentation - regional food system plan.
Presentations. Okay, so
under document note.
Presentation. What was it again?
Space dash space regional food system plan.
Okay.
Okay. So let's click out of that
and then you just close it, or do you save?
I just close it because Access is funny that way. It saves it automatically.
Okay. And then do I just if this pops up, just click yes?
Yeah, that's fine.
All right. And then do another put of this
now
file.
Do another put, and we'll take a look at it and see if that fixed it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Interesting.
There you go. So I'm surprised actually that without that description, it didn't show anything. But so be it.
And if I would have added it when it was up here, like the way I added that, it should have showed up when it was available in here, not expired, right?
Correct. Yep.
Okay. So this information, like if I would have had it right, it would have had the agenda, and then it would have had this item beneath in this yellow container.
Yes, I believe
okay.
so.
So that should have, okay. So at least I know from Dreamweaver, my Dreamweaver was working, because I was like, okay, why isn't it updating? Why, I'm like, what the hell is going on here? It was so frustrating because I knew that this was rather simple. It's just a matter of getting the right steps. So, okay, so that one is added. I think we're good.
I mean, we don't get a lot of requests for putting attachments on the committee pages here. You can see that there was one back in February, I guess.
Yeah. Yep.
And before that, it was probably a while. But most of these committees don't have attachments on their pages, so that's kind of an odd egg. But
and Eric is a nice guy, but pretty damn demanding on some of this stuff. Like, please let us know when the other edits are done. Like, I got to go back to that because I thought they only wanted me to upload that one file. So, let me go back to Jennifer's thing. Jennifer and Eric are on that. So that one's caught up. So at least I got that. So that's good. Calendar item and additional agenda items. It looks like I got that right. So I think we're okay there.
You were 99% there on that last one.
Just
that description.
It sucked, yeah. But I mean, I'd rather it be something simple like that. And at least I gave them a link that they could share out, and I made sure to do an alias for the link. So I gave them something to provide people. So they were fine. All right. So Megan had a question about, I didn't realize that Ozaukee County mitigation plan is updated and finalized.
The short answer to that is no. We don't put hazard mitigation plan updates on the home page because mitigation plans are kind of a strange animal. We assist with those, but they're not strictly a sewer pack project.
Okay.
So I guess I would just reply and say that the final plan goes on the community assistance webpage, but generally not on the homepage.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, sure.
Is there anything else we should, include on this? Since she says it's a mitigation plan, do we need to reference that mitigation plans typically don't? And I didn't know I didn't, in case she
Yeah,
came back with
I guess
something.
I would say generally hazard mitigation plans aren't posted on the homepage.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
So what we could do is make sure though, so she's county web, that PDF file there, we should let's pop over to the Sewer Pack website and look at the community assistance tab.
Okay.
Who knows what they might have. I thought we had the final report out there, but so under hazard mitigation planning on the left,
Right here.
Yep. So Ozaki, she says.
Ozaki.
So it says final report there, but what is that link? I probably renamed it.
CARP-332 Ozaki County HMPU.pdf.
Okay.
So maybe this is an updated version. It's a plan update is complete and finalized.
Well, to be safe, we could overwrite that file out there with the one that she provided, just to be sure that we've got the most recent.
That's all I wanted to do.
So what was the location she said on that one?
I drive ENVA. I'm not part of the ENVA team.
Let's see.
Just make my part of every damn team so I can get to stuff. Whatever. Now I do. Sorry, this just take a second. It's writing my permissions.
Oh.
So they said obviously the weather was nice down here too, so I'm assuming it was nice up north as well.
Oh, it's beautiful. It's unbelievable, actually. I mean, t-shirt and shorts weather, for October is pretty crazy. I mean, it'd get cold at night where we'd make a fire outside, and by about 10:30, 11, we were too cold to stay out there.
Yeah.
So the temperature would really plummet at night, but it was beautiful during the day. And
great.
Boy, we really hit the fall color. It was just breathtaking everywhere you looked.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it was like that even down here. I mean, we were out in Pewaukee area a little bit on Sunday, Pewaukee a little bit further out, and yeah, we were just awesome seeing everything on Saturday afternoon.
Yeah. Almost looks surreal,
Yeah. Let's do is go back to this.
So what I was thinking we could do here is we could just go out to the Titan file pile where the CAPR report is located and overwrite it with that copy that she had, the web version. So under Sewer Pack files, it would be in the publications folder. That's where CAPRs, technical reports, all those kind of things are. So we could either sort this or we could do a search right under where it says browsing CAPR.
Actually, the last file. Yeah, okay. So last file that was uploaded. So.
Okay. So if you click on edit here, it says upload a new version. So this will allow you to browse to that location that Megan sent to us.
I finally got permissions, so it's Capri 33. So what is it? How come I don't have access to that? Huh? I don't have access to that iDrive area. I don't even see it.
Hmm.
It was from Megan.
But you were,
Is that the right iCommon? Oh, that's wrong location. That's on me.
I don't see it in your tree there either, though. Under this.
Yeah, I'm here now. I was in the wrong spot. So Capri CAPR 3320 Ozaki County HMPU InDesign. Oh God.
That's the web version down there.
This one here.
Yeah, it looks like it. No,
That doesn't make sense because that's the same file. So it's already there. So she's just asking that she wants it on the web page. I think it's just a question, but yeah, so the file that's out there is the same as the one that she has here. So it's not any different. I think she's just asking if it should go on the home page too.
okay.
I think we answered her question.
Yeah. So, but we can't be absolutely positively sure they haven't changed anything in this file.
True.
So it wouldn't hurt.
Okay.
So that we know that it's the most recent version of it. It won't look any different on the website.
Yep.
You know, as far as naming convention goes or anything like that. So just to be safe, overwrite it with this version and call it good.
Okay. It's not pasting. Back here. Upload new version. That was the Ozaki County. Let's do this just to be safe. So Ozaki County.
And then just save it.
Okay.
So if she has changed anything from when we last uploaded it, this will reflect the changes.
Okay. 1 second, web updates. Thought I replied to her, but apparently not. That was on the mitigation plan page. All right, so we're done with that one.
So Eric had a lot going on there, I see.
Yeah, I think the next one would be the presentation item that he sent. Oh, I think this is the one about the EGTF presentation regional. All right, so no rush at all. When you get a minute, could you please post the presentation? The link should be intended. Oh, and so I have to update that link that we had from that other file. I had it as let's go back here. So the description needs to say presentation regional plan. I think we named it something different.
Okay.
He had a specific name.
Yeah.
All right, so 7. So we had presentation. He wanted regional. Actually, that's exactly what he wanted. So
really,
I don't know if you came up with that. Like,
must have been some kind of subliminal thought in my head or something.
yeah, I was like, damn, you're good. So I'll let him know we took care of that one. So that was the presentation. Yes, so that was good. Told me that after the fact, so we're good there. Don't need to do another put because it's fine. Calendar items, additional. The next item that I had was on the intranet. Adding a file, and I thought I followed the right steps, but it apparently didn't work. Eric sent, what's this one? Let's see, he sent it on Friday. And I think he actually sent this as a chat as opposed to, which I don't like, but whatever.
He was asking for something on the intranet.
Yeah, they wanted a file added to the bottom here. Not this one. This is the one that you did, but they had another file. Let me pull up the chat with him because
Okay.
Eric asked, yeah, he sent a file. This is cleaner link. It's 10.7. All right, so that's that. Okay, he goes, I wanted to send the team's guidance doc to Kevin that we're going to send out to staff and realized that there is a doc linked in there and it's supposed to be put on the internet site. Would you be able to post it? So he sent me the file, which I put out. Let me go back to this. I put out on the, what is it, iDrive, GIS websites. Shit, what was that?
Yep, that's the one.
And I put it in, I believe I put it in PDFs.
Okay.
Is there PDFs or is it files?
Yeah, there should be right at the top.
Oh, there we go, PDF. So I put the file in there, and then it was this item here, which the naming was a bit long, but that was the file. So I had the file uploaded there, and then I went into Dreamweaver, and then I had to go to the intranet web server, correct?
Yep.
Okay, I did that, and then I went to, this is where I got lost. I did go into, I thought the default page was the default SHTM file, which was the home page, but then I was having issues with where the drop down was.
Yeah, that navbar 07
Yeah,
file. Let me.
because what I did is I went into, so I'd open up this file, and then when I go over to this, it would say, SSI includes navbar 7 HTM. So I could either edit it there, or I could go to where that file lives in that SSI include folder right here, and then navbar 07, which I would just open up.
Yep.
So I did go through and I scrolled to the right area. If I can go to default or go to code 2, I did go to, and that one shows up as menu Dropbox 5 is the items for this. I did add it in, and it was, I alphabetized these because I got annoyed with them not being. So I did add it right here.
Okay.
But when you go to the site, it still doesn't show up.
Yeah, because I think the reason for that is that you need to do a put on that PDF file to copy that up to the web server because it's never existed on the web server yet.
Got ya. Okay. So let me go back to the PDF in the individual file, right?
Correct.
So then I right click, put.
Yep.
So it's there now. And then this I did already do the put on, but let me just check.
Okay.
Still not there. So it's, and then do I have to do a put on the navbar?
Yeah, that if you haven't done that already.
Okay, so I made it on the other site. So that's the SSI includes and navbar 7 HTML.
Yep.
And then what do you do for this?
Don't do that because that'll try to copy everything back from the local drive up to the web server, and it's already out there.
Okay, so then just do no. We don't ever want to do that, correct?
Oh, correct.
Okay.
I've never had to use that feature. In fact, one time I did it and I made a mess out of everything.
Oh, don't want to do that. All right, so let's refresh this. Still not right.
Okay, what did we do here then? So let's go back. Let's go back in Dreamweaver to where you added that.
Yeah, let me do a put. I can do a put of this too. Because I don't think maybe I didn't do that either.
Yeah.
No.
So where I've always added anything to these drop downs, it's been from that navbar 07 file.
Okay.
I'm not sure if I followed you where you said you.
Yeah, it was essentially the same thing, because if you open this file and you click here, it'll show you like the dependency of the file, and it's the includes nav, nav underscore bar 07 HTM. So that file lives.
And the SSI includes.
Yeah, and then navbar 07. Edit. Just open it.
Okay, so scroll down here and let's see where that's added. Because
yeah, so there's the World Docs item, and then it's right here is the checkout.
Okay, so that was not showing up. Can you pop back to the intranet website again?
Oh, there it is.
There it is.
I thought it was a how-to. So
yeah, because we were looking at, I think, at the bottom of the drop down for it.
Yeah, I agree. I wasn't, and I thought, and I was also looking for something that started with H, because I thought it was how to, but I had to shorten it. So I can let Eric know that that's been added. So what was that? Looks good. Thanks, Justin.
That was just a simple put of the PDF file so that there was a copy on the web server for it. Otherwise, you did everything right.
Okay. All right. So let me let Eric know via chat. What is it? The file. Doing good screenshots sometimes.
There you go.
I knew there was that some of this stuff, it was just going to be things that I was overlooking, and as you go through it, you're like, yeah, once I do this, I'll figure it out. And I thought I had it, and I was like, it also wasn't helping that it was like after 5 o'clock, and I'm trying to like stick around and figure it out. I want to be helpful, but also need to be resourceful. And it just got to the point where I'm like, hey, I'm going to need to wait to ask Mike, because I there's some steps I'm missing, and he was fine. Eric was cool with it. So I think we're okay there. But for me, it's hard because I don't like to be the person that doesn't know how to do something. So
yeah, it's not a good spot to be in.
no, I want to be able to help. And it's like, and then I'm like, I feel bad because I'm like, he's on vacation, and I shot him text. So sorry about that. I was just venting a little bit, but
No, that's fine.
I just don't, I don't want to take away from your personal time, because it's something I can't figure out. It can wait. So
I figured it wasn't, it wasn't a life or death thing here. So I figured it could wait.
Yeah, right.
These guys, their idea of what's important is sometimes different from mine.
Yeah, so Eric asked on this page, can you please update the current action item list link under related materials, which is this, with the attached PDF, which I did. You'll need to create a new URL that includes blah, blah, blah. It's okay that it's done. So I think we're done with everything.
Okay.
I let Megan know about that other Ozaki HMDU item or HMPU item. We took care of the calendar items. Let's take a look at one other thing. We want to update where it says meeting and agendas? You mentioned something when we first got on the call here.
Yes, we should put a couple meetings out there, and this will be good to run through too, because it's a little bit different than editing just the pages. But first, let's as long we still have Titan open, right?
Yeah, we do.
Let me take a quick peek here. I thought I saw something. Just one tiny little thing on the comprehensive economic development strategy blurb on the home page.
Sure. Yeah.
I think you're missing a space after the November 2nd, like last line.
Second.
Right there.
Oh, between the M and the.
Looks like you got to have a space on your screen. Why don't I see that?
Yeah, it's funny you say that, because I did catch that. And it was throwing me off too. So let's go back to the page. Go to that block.
Let's see.
Yeah, November 2nd. It looks close, but let's go to edit. Let's just space and.
On your screen, it sure looks like there's a space in there.
You're right. Went back to the source and just did it and updated it.
Oh,
Hit OK. Let's save it. I kept going back and forth on that, to be honest with you, so I wasn't sure. So let's go back to
now it looks
page.
better on mine.
Yep, much better. Yep.
Yep. Nitpicky, but I just thought I'd mention it
No,
because when I
no,
read through there, I was like, oh, that looks kind of crowded, but
yeah, I had to tell them about the image too, because they're like, well, we'd like to include the image here, and I'm like, just so you know, with it being text in here, we're gonna
yeah.
have to reduce it pretty significantly. So once we
But
did it and they found it, it looks okay.
yeah, I can read it and everything. So
Yeah.
good job on that for sure.
Yeah, he did ask about like a button here for the registration. I wasn't sure about what image to use for the button or creating a button. I just
Oh,
left it as is.
yeah, he
There's
doesn't
too
need a
many other
button.
there were too many other changes that I don't think having a button there is going to be the deal breaker that if somebody does it or not.
Right.
So I think we're good on that. The next
Okay.
thing,
Awesome. Yeah, let's add some meetings in here. Let's take a quick peek here. See commissions and standing committees. So it looks like the administrative and executive committees have a meeting coming up on October 22nd.
okay. And where did you find that?
I went to the committee page, so under reports and resources,
Some resources.
commissions and standing committees on the left nav, and go down to the bottom there. It says administrative, executive, intergovernmental, and public relations. So click on the administrative committee.
Where am I missing that? I'm sorry. Is
No,
that on the
no problem.
left or?
No,
Oh, administrative committee.
yeah.
Okay.
Yep. So that'll take you to those roster pages,
Okay.
and you'll see that I think I hope I mentioned this. Usually at the beginning of the year, Libby will give us a list of all these meetings, and that's
Yep.
why you can see all of them out here. Not
Okay.
all committees are like that, but generally the standing committees, we list all the meetings for the year out there. And then
Okay.
as they come up, they drop down into the past meetings.
Yep. Got ya. Okay. And this
So we don't
isn't going
have,
to be another database, correct?
yeah, that is the database that we were just looking at,
Okay. Let me close out
the
this.
the documents and committees table in that database.
Sewer pits.
But we don't need to do anything there yet because that's already out there. So I
Okay.
guess,
Yeah, we don't need to add anything, right? Because
yeah, what I was trying to say is that at the beginning of this year, Paul went out there and added all these meetings in.
okay.
So that's why you see the November 19th, the December 17th. At one time, at the beginning of the year, there was one for every month.
Okay. Got ya.
So he went ahead and did that ahead of time.
All right.
Now
So
we've got to add it to the sewer pack homepage, which we can do in Titan. So under events, there's a little, looks like a database
Yep.
icon under events, sewer pack events. You'll see the administrative committee was canceled for last month.
Executive committee, administrative
Yep.
committee.
So we can edit either one of those to start with. And we want to take the canceled off the event name because we no longer need that.
Change the date to the 22nd.
Exactly.
And the end date is going to be the 22nd. Or would it be the 22nd or the 23rd? It shows
I
a start time of 2 p.m.
It's the same date.
Okay.
Start time and end time. What won't be the same as in the settings, and I'll show you that in a second.
Okay,
We'll make that the same date. Start and end date the same.
It's October 22nd. October 22nd. Okay.
It'll be online. We're going to leave the time because we don't. They're almost always at the same time. I think it's 1:30 or something for the administrative, and maybe 2 o'clock or something for the, what is that, 1400 hours is 2 o'clock or something.
Yep. So that's the executive.
So we don't have an agenda. If we did, we could link it here.
Okay.
And I'll look for that in a second.
Okay.
So we can now go to the settings, settings tool on the right side, left side rather, excuse me. Make sure that we remove that.
Letting me.
All
right.
Okay, now let's scroll down.
You need to change this date though, right? Or does this matter?
It should change automatically.
Okay. Once we save it out. Oh, okay.
Yeah. So scroll down a little bit more, and you'll notice there's a like an event end date. Oh, there it is. What's new
That's
end
the
date?
date. Okay.
Let's make that the day after, so the 23rd. Because what will happen then is at midnight on the 23rd, the meeting will disappear from the homepage.
Okay, so it takes it out of the yellow one, or takes it out of the homepage. Okay. All right, executive committee. And nothing else to change there?
Nothing else, just hit a save at the top, and we can go back to the sewer pack homepage and just check that it's.
Go, executive committee, 10/22.
Yep.
And shows the 10/22 at 2 p.m. online. Then we just wait for the agenda details. Okay. All right.
Now we
Simple
can go
enough.
back and tighten again and do the exact same thing to the administrative committee.
Run through this one. So this is going to be the same date, October 22nd. 22nd. This one is a 1:30 start time online. It's fine. 10/22, 10/22. Administrative committee. Gotta change this. And start date, end date, that's fine. And then we have to change the end, what's new, to the day after, October 23rd.
Yep.
And that's it.
Save.
Save. Fresh. There we go. Put them in alphabetical order. And then we'll do the same for we do the same for the November meetings as well? Or no?
Yeah, not just yet. We don't want the November meetings to show up out there until the October meetings have passed.
Okay.
So one thing we could do is let's go back to the sewer pack homepage, and let's go to reports and resources, and down to on the left side down to commission and standing committees, and let's check the planning and research committee, the bottom link, and see when that next meeting is. So that next meeting is November 10th. We could put that out there.
Okay.
That would only be about 3 weeks away or so.
Just adding notes for myself. Okay, so that's under planning and research. That's going to be under the home or this events item as well, right?
Yep, correct.
And is there an existing one so planning and research committee right here?
Yep.
Planning and research committee.
Let's break that link.
Yep, I was gonna say unlink it because we don't have it, right? I want to unlink it.
Yep, there you go.
The start date is going to be November 10th. Feels like it's so far away, but it's less than a month. It's so crazy.
Right, I know.
November 10th, November 10th.
Yep, good there.
And November 11th is going to be the end.
Yep. And we're good there.
Oh, don't need to save it again.
So one last committee we should probably change is, or check rather, is the full commission.
Okay.
We can find that under the reports and resources, commission standing committees, full commission meetings. I'm right in the middle.
That one shows December 9th.
Okay. So we've got some time on that one.
Okay. Do we want to add that or wait?
Let's wait on that one. That's far enough off. Generally, I'm speaking, if it's over a month away, I don't put it out there.
Yeah. Okay. And then would that be the quarterly meeting?
Correct.
Okay. Okay.
Commission quarterly meeting is also known as the full commission.
Okay. Okay. Good. Back out here, and we've got some items out here now. Let me just make sure there's no agendas linked yet.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm gonna go out to Dropbox and see if Libby has put any agendas or minutes or other materials out there for these meetings. In fact, I will hop on that right now and just.
That's right. We got flu shots coming up.
Yep, Wednesday, right?
Yep. A big wuss when it comes to shots and stuff, but I'll be the first to admit it.
Yeah. No one likes them.
No. Good thing this year, though.
Yeah, definitely a good idea. Need that on top of COVID.
Yeah, right. Yeah, you don't need that because of a mismatch of symptoms and not knowing what you have. And this year, you're going to have to test everybody for everything. Heaven forbid you get that in a sore throat, then you get strep, flu.
Yep.
But it is a miracle to get it, though. So hopefully we all get it right.
Yeah. I know last two times I was out in Madison, I took my kids to Walgreens to get their flu shots, and
Yep.
My wife got hers from her primary physician, so I'm the last one.
Yeah, you don't want to be the one responsible.
Nope.
Get everybody sick.
Yeah. That on Dropbox, which is where Libby usually puts the combined materials, and I don't see anything for this meeting, so I'm going to shoot her an email later today and just say, hey, let me know when there's some meetings to post, and we'll put them out there.
Yeah, and is that Dropbox, is that something that I actively need access to or not right now?
I'm going to put that password out in KeyPass for you.
Okay.
In case you
Just in
do
case.
need to
Actually, I
access it.
think
Yeah.
you already do.
Oh, really?
There's a Dropbox out here, so let me just go to it and take a look. Okay. I
Sure.
haven't
Yep.
used Dropbox in forever.
Yeah.
Send me Dropbox.com.
This is just a way that we had to make the materials available to the commissioners who are using those iPads.
Oh, got ya. Well,
They've got
Teams would be another way to do it too, but obviously that wasn't the case back then.
Right. At the time, we weren't even thinking about Teams.
Oh, of course not. All right, cool. Okay. And I see it. So at least I have it. I just wanted to be in a case where you're out again, and if if Libby came to me and said, Justin, I need you to post these files, at least I have some place to go.
Yeah, good. I'm glad I put that out there. So,
yeah.
9/16 meeting materials.
Commission quarterly.
Let's go to all files.
Okay.
And there should be a folder for each one of these committees out there. So there's administrative commission quarterly, executive I don't know what nominating committee is. That's
but these are the planning research, executive commission quarterly, which is the full, and then administrative.
Yeah. So if you open the administrative committee, you'll see how she organized this by once the year is over, we'll make a 2020 admin committee meeting material folder, and we'll dump all these stray files out there.
Okay. It looks like the last one's admin materials, so 820.
Yeah, that's right, because the September meeting was canceled.
Yep. Okay.
So, yeah, I'll ask her later today, and after we're done talking here, if she's got anything for us.
Yeah, that'd be good. Yeah, and then if there is stuff, if you wouldn't mind, doing it again, where I can just go through it and post it, and
yep, absolutely.
I feel more comfortable the more I do it. Like I said, I'm frustrated that I was like 90% on both of those items, but
you were really close. Yeah.
Yeah, so it shows I'm listening. At least I got that working for me,
Yeah.
Cool. So it looks like that. It's still showing not approved. What is he talking about? Eric just said EG still showing not approved. What is he? And please remove not approved. Oh, I think I know what he's talking about. I think I might have screwed up on something. So EGTF is community.
Site presentation.
I think I did have some wording that's on there.
Yeah, generally when we post the agenda and the minutes from the previous meeting, those minutes have not yet been approved because the meeting hasn't taken place.
Okay.
So in that database, we'll go out there and put like there it says not yet approved.
The 29th. Okay.
Yeah. So we need to remove that in the database. We need to go back to Dreamweaver on that one.
All right, so we're going back into its internet databases. Always connect. We're going into this one here. Go to committees. We're going to go to 48.
Yep.
And we're looking for the July information, July 29th. July. Wrong committee.
Nope, wrong year.
Yeah. So,
Going.
all right, there we go. So
Yep.
July 29th,
Okay.
minutes not
Just
approved.
take that off. Now, if they had given us minutes for what meeting was that?
Meeting after that.
Yeah, then we'd add that note that the minutes were not yet approved. Kind of a goofy thing.
Yeah.
I don't know why it's important to them that whether the minutes are approved or not, but that's always been something they've always asked for.
Okay. Good technicality.
Mm-hmm.
So let them know I took care of that. So verified 729. That's good. This is good. This is good. Awesome. So I think we're caught up on last week's smorgasbord of updates.
Yeah, boy, it was a cascade.
Yeah, no better way for me to learn, right?
Yeah, baptism by fire.
Yeah, right. So at least that's good. So we're good on that. Is there anything else you wanted to go over regarding webpage stuff? Are we okay on that? You said you're going to follow up with Libby.
Yeah, I'll follow up with her about the agenda and that. What else was there? I thought there was something else.
I had
The
other
ARC.
questions. Yep, the ArcGIS online account. It looks
Mm-hmm.
like I do have access, but I wasn't sure. Rob had said something about, maybe we should find out what Gabe is using it for because of the usage of credits.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, I don't really understand the ins and outs and how those are paid for and if they're expensive. So that's why I said I'd check with you first.
They're not horribly expensive,
Excuse me.
but we've had cases in the past where somebody has like burned through 4,000 of these blocks and then we're out, and there's been issues. But since then I found out that you can manage that by restricting the amount
Yeah,
of credits that people can.
and that's what I thought too. I thought I saw when I went into my account, and I had two different accounts. So let me go to my Esri org account. Sign in. I was using the wrong username
Oh,
because you set up a sewer pack account and I was using my online one,
okay.
global one for them. So what the hell? All right. I went into organization. And then members. And I saw different people out there, and I saw it was limited, 20 of 20, or the number of credits that an individual person could be assigned.
Yep.
But I just wasn't sure in terms of, what that this individual needed, not setting somebody up in here before, if it was just okay to set them up or.
Yeah, I think it's fine, and as long as we limit people to using 20 credits, we're not worrying about them exhausting the remaining credits.
Yeah, and
so we
that
can
was
go ahead and we can go ahead and invite Gabe as a new member.
okay, and then add member with us invitations.
But we want to notify them via email, so check that second one.
Okay. And a new member.
Mm-hmm.
What is his name? It's Gabe.
It's Gabe.
And Rosenwald.
Rosenwald, I think. Let me check the spelling on that.
Yeah, ROSWALD.
Transportation guy.
Okay.
Rosenwald. Okay. I'd usually take the one off the end of there. I don't know what the purpose of that is. It's just kind of easier to remember, just sewer pack,
Yeah, exactly. And then in terms of the role, would he need?
We could give him publisher. I think most people, we'll go back and look at that list when we're done, but I think most people I've got out there is publisher. We do want to restrict the number of credits that he used, and I can't remember exactly where that was, but
Field app bundle.
Maybe that guy right there. What's the little pencil? Is that an edit tool?
Yeah, it is. It doesn't.
That just takes you back. Okay. Let's just let's go say next here and next and.
Okay, add-on license manage. Okay, so set allocation.
Yeah, make
20,
that
right?
20. That looks good.
Okay, so there's a credit limit of 20, profile visibility of the organization, everything else is pretty standard. Be his username and I'm assuming his username, password, or whatever's going to be sent in that invitation.
Yep.
Okay, and then we'll just.
So he should then receive an invitation, and then he'll have to create his own password. And unfortunately, we don't really have control over what that password is. But it's one of those things where we also can't restrict them changing their password, so it probably doesn't matter all that much. Do we see him
Let
out
her
there?
know. Set up for Gabe. Yeah, what is it? Oh, next page. There we go. Gabe 20 of 20. Never logged in. User type creator, publisher.
Let's go back to the main list and see if everybody's actually out there as a publisher or so. Or previous page.
I just send in an email to that group, let him know we set up the account and that Gabe should look out for a invitation email.
Invite.
Yeah. I'm sorry, where did we want to go again, Mike?
Wanted to go back to that page 1 of the list of users, members. Okay, so we've got creator. Mostly everybody's a creator, not a publisher.
Except Paul. Yeah, so we change this type to a creator to be consistent, or?
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay, so what shows his user type is creator?
Oh, okay. All right.
Well, maybe not. Maybe we don't have to. Okay, so we don't have to worry about that. Publisher is the role. Administrator is for a couple of the people, including.
Yeah.
Jen supposed to be a publisher or administrator?
I made her an administrator because she was trying to use this tablet and
that's right.
Want to allow her to upload her data to this tablet without the administrator permissions. I don't think she knows enough to do any damage, but maybe we should revisit that at some point and see if there's something that she's just doing differently with that tablet.
Sorry, let me just replying back to Eric because I let him know we took care of the internet stuff. I just want to make sure that he's putting the stuff in the web updates so that either way one of us could take care of it and we have visibility, not via chat.
Yep, good idea.
All right, so that's done. Okay. Let them know we set up the account for her. Anything we needed to do regarding, is maybe switching over like Paul's account and yours so that you have full rights. I noticed his account in here last week. Excuse me, and I didn't want to do anything and change anything on it. So
yeah, we probably could delete that account even.
I just didn't know because yours shows a limit on it. So I'm wondering why his was unlimited.
He doesn't use it, so it didn't really matter. At one point, everybody was unlimited.
We could try and delete the member, but I don't know if he's the organizational head.
Yeah, I don't know how that's going to work.
Unable to delete member, revoke licenses assigned to this member before deleting. So let's go to his account. Settings. Licenses. Okay, so he's got
Hmm.
administrator creator.
How you would revoke these.
Administrator credits.
ArcGIS Pro, that's that named user license, but I don't know how you would access that.
This is creator administrator. Let's go back here. Let's manage add-on licenses.
ArcGIS Pro Advanced.
Nope. I'm just looking to see if there's any that he's linked to through here.
Mhm. There he is.
So turn that off. No need to save, it's automatic. Compatible.
Pro.
Mike, because you're fancy.
Hmm.
So let's go back to his account and take a look. Let's change his account type to user. Okay, so he doesn't have any licenses assigned to him for these now.
Okay.
Um,
Now let's see if we can delete the account.
Yep.
Oh, looks like it worked.
That's good. All right, so we're administrators, so we should be okay. I don't think it'd pose any issues, but
Yeah. Okay.
let's see what other emails I just got.
So I can't remember exactly where I saw this, but there's a message that says that ArcGIS Online is changing to HTTPS only.
That's here, yep.
There it is.
And this would basically say that you can't allow it to access via port 80 anymore. Right now we're using HTTPS, but if anybody were to try to hit this using HTTP, right now it redirects, later it won't.
Okay.
I think that that's what's kind of forcing you. Maybe we could turn it on and test, because this is eventually what it's going to be. So
Yeah.
it might be a good idea to flip the switch and
Yep.
save it, and then just, I don't think there's a save involved. So policy updated successfully. So now anybody who goes to this page, obviously it's got the security certificate, which is valid. And that's their certificate.
Right. So my only concern there is that the Vision 2050 website heavily relies on these ArcGIS Online maps, and
Yeah.
if those links would stop working on their website, they're going to let us know. So let me try and nip this in the bud.
Yeah.
I'll go out to, let's see, Vision 2050. The Vision 2050 website. So if you go to Vision 2050 seWIS.org.
1 second.
Mm-hmm.
Vision 2050.
seWIS.org. .org. Yeah.
A great name.
That'll take you to, yeah, I know, right? That'll take you to our Vision 2050 website, which this is a Wix website, interesting.
Mm-hmm.
But let's see. General plan, updates. There's a maps page somewhere in here. There it is. Links at the top. Maps, interactive maps. There's streets and highways, bicycle land use.
Yeah,
Let's just try one of these and see if it still works.
Yep, they're using HTTPS.
Okay. Good. Then that's not.
Yeah, I'll try all of them.
Not a concern.
As long as they're coded right to use HTTPS.
Mm-hmm. Mine's just spinning.
Yeah, mine works.
Interesting.
Was there one that was specifically that what you were trying?
Yeah, that one's finally working here. It's just really slow for some reason. Probably my internet speed.
Yep. I
Yep.
blame you
No,
right
it's good. It's good. That was my only concern. Um, that these ArcGIS online maps would be pointing to the HTTP and eventually would not work when they
Yep.
switched it over.
Yeah, so anything that references that if it was an HTTP, you say HTTPS. I'm just hovering over the links to see.
Mm-hmm.
It's mainly those top ones. The PDFs are obviously fine. Not worried about
Yeah.
those. It was just these
Right.
top ones because they don't
Yep.
say. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, every one of them is using secure.
Okay, good. Awesome. I'll check that off my list.
Yep. Awesome.
So that's good. The only other thing I really wanted to talk to you about, I guess, was that Wasabi cloud storage you were talking about.
Yeah, exactly. I talked to Rob about it this morning. Well, what I was getting into is that the predictability, I'll show you on AWS, is that it just was not clear in terms of what our pricing was going to be. In the past, when I've set up Glacier, they used to use what's called a VTL setup, which is a virtual tape library. So anything that you would write to your local backup, it would keep in a container on the opposing side, just like what you see on your end. Well, Amazon has changed all that. Let me put my MFA in, and in terms of what is being stored and where it's going and how much it's costing was no longer transparent. So basically, anything that we had in our local backups that wrote into our weekly and our monthly, you could also do what's called an SORB, which is scale out repository buckets. So you basically take all your weekly and monthly backups and you write those out after the backup is done. You basically mirror it out or write it out to your bucket externally. With us wanting to go with Glacier, Amazon did not allow or does not allow you to transparently or seamlessly go from your on-site storage and mirror it out to Glacier. You have to put it into a higher tiered storage bucket, create a lifecycle policy that says after the item's been completely moved out here, take all the contents from this higher cost tier bucket and move it down to Glacier and store it there.
Okay.
The problem is that they not only charge you um, uh, with putting it out there in that higher cost storage. So if we move it all out there and it's out there for a day, they'll charge us a day of how much it costs at that higher cost storage. And then the next day, whenever that 0 day policy is done and it moves it down to Glacier, it's moved down to Glacier, but then it's also charging an additional put because we're taking something and we're moving it over to a different tiered storage. So like we're dealing with gets and puts when we deal with the database stuff for, Dreamweaver or files,
Yep.
it's the same thing. It sees it as an individual transaction and then they charge you whatever minuscule amount for that as well. The problem is that I can't easily say it's going to cost us this much for our backup. It's going to cost us this. I have to wait until the transaction is done, and then you see, we've got, and this is only partial data that's out there, is you see that it's fluctuating. And
Oh,
even this, it would, I can't tell you right now clearly if that's the cost of all the information as it lives in Glacier, or are we still waiting for something to move over from Glacier or from that higher cost bucket down to Glacier, and then in a couple days when they're billing updates, this will be lower.
wow.
So in terms of the transparency and understanding, just the simplicity of pricing, it just is not there. And then
Yeah.
also, if we were to go to from a backup scenario, I would have to go in here, go to S3, and there's really not much in here now because I'm trying to remove the stuff that's here. Go into this, find the folder, drill down, take this and then basically go through and initiate, if I could, initiate like a restore, but right
Hmm.
now it's locked so I can't do anything. Yeah, this one's cleared out, but I have to go in here and I have to go through and clear or click everything that I want to restore, set it to restore. Then once it becomes available, then I have to launch Veeam and then I have to pull it back in.
Huh.
Very, 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 very clumsy, very, very difficult. And once again, at the end of the day, can I say how much it's going to cost us per month? Unfortunately, not until it kind of levels out or evens out, but by then it could potentially be astronomical depending on their pricing matrix.
Wow, it's a
Um,
moving target.
it is. It really is. I mean, estimated, yeah, I can give you a great estimate. And that Thai guy hasn't gotten back to me in like 3 weeks. I
Oh,
reached out
geez.
to him and I let him know, like, hey, I need some assistance here. Can you help clarify with it? And nothing back, just crickets. I'm just like,
Well,
screw this. What are some other alternatives? So I
yeah.
looked up the wasabi. And what's nice about wasabi is I do have the information in KeyPass as well.
Hmm.
So here. I'll use this like MFA, so we'll have to set up an account for you. I just did the trial
Uh-huh.
because I wanted to just understand it. If it's going to be going down the same road that we're with Amazon, I didn't want anything to do with it.
Yep.
MFA code might have expired. Yep. Stuff is great, but it's kind of a pain in the ass sometimes. Okay, so we can go in here. I can see the bucket that we have.
Uh-huh.
And what's great about them is that it's $5.99 per terabyte. That's it. Which is a little bit more expensive than Glacier. But the thing that's brilliant about it is it's literally just that. If we have to recover information, it's still $5.99 a terabyte. If we have to move information, if we have to create a link, what's called an API through an application, which is basically we're linking Veeam
Hmm.
to utilize this as a backup. So I have the Wasabi repository, and then our monthly and our weekly backups are copied out to that as well. So not only do you have your on-site backup, but you also have all those backups are moved off-site as well, should we have an issue. And that's really
Okay.
what we were going for.
Exactly.
The simplicity is we have the one bucket here, which contains our monthly and weekly backups. If I go into billing and I want to see just how much is being stored out there, I can actually go and take a look, and it would tell us what the cost would be. Like that's it. Like
Mhm.
uh,
Okay.
simple. If we need to go and restore something, I don't need to go down because it's considered hot storage. It's always available. I don't need
Okay.
to drill down into the backup and say, okay, set this for restore. I basically just run our backup or our restore from the Veeam console on-prem, and I can restore it that way.
Hmm.
So much, much nicer. You can drill down, and obviously it's got, all the stuff kind of encrypted and, out there, all the different VMs that are out there, things of that nature. But it's very, very straightforward.
Okay.
Um, at least from my perspective of having to go through an admin and clean this stuff up. I don't need to really futz around or do anything in here. Once the bucket is created and we have roles and users, or I have a security, it's called an API. So this is the secure account that's used to access it. I don't use the account that I use to log into this console to run our backups because it's extremely vulnerable.
Hmm.
So you have kind of like an IAM, identity access manager, similar to what you have with AWS. So it's similar. This uses Amazon buckets on the background, but they're
Okay.
using their interface and they're using everything on their front end to access it. So there's no guessing. Um, like I said, just much better. And I just like being able to say it's $5.99 a terabyte. Okay,
Right.
how much is 20 terabytes going to cost us? $119.80.
Yep.
Per month. Okay, what if we go up to 25 terabytes? Okay, add another 5.99 times five. Add another, $30.
Hmm.
That's it. So
Wow.
it just made a lot more sense, and for predictability and feeling comfortable with, I was hesitant to do some of this stuff, and that's why it's taken 4 weeks to kind of get to the point of realizing Amazon just isn't a good fit for us for this.
Yeah. They're
If we
certainly
had
not responsive at all.
No, not at all. And I even one thing too between you and I is I even got to the point where you have to. I don't know if you saw in the last AWS thing is I actually moved us just temporarily into a developer backup thing, which they charge $29 a month. I added on the developer support because I'm like, okay, Ty's not getting back to me, and I need to get some questions answered. And the
Mhm.
problem with that is you get one response in 24 hours. So I'm like, I just need to, I told them exactly what we were trying to do, some of the issues I was seeing, and they couldn't even give me clear answers.
Yeah.
And I was just like, it's just not worth it. If it's this difficult to set up and this difficult to really understand what it's going to cost, and if shit hits the fan, what do we need to do?
Uh-huh.
Um, it's a lot easier with Wasabi, and just knowing that that 5.99 price includes pretty much everything that we need, and we don't have to worry. Yeah, this is just a much better option.
Looks a lot cleaner, yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I talked to Rob about it, and Rob's like, yeah, he goes, I'll talk to Libby and explain to her, what we're doing. And I did explain to Rob too that with Glacier having a 90-day retention, that we are going to have to pay an amount for the next, 3 months. But I did go through and I deleted as much as I could out of those buckets, because how they charge you is for standing storage or storage in place. So
Hmm.
if we had 2 terabytes of storage at the first of the month for the first week, and then at the end of the month we had no storage, they're going to take the average based on the end of the month of where you're at. So it should be pretty minimal charges.
Hmm.
But I did put in a support request with AWS to basically delete the buckets completely, not our
Okay.
account, because never, who knows if we ever need to go back to since they offer so many things. But at least from a cloud-based storage strategy, yeah, this solution is just a much better fit for us.
Okay. Well, hopefully Rob will get that approved through Libby, and then we can, move on.
Yeah, I did tell him. I said, yeah, this is something we definitely need to do, because the AWS option just wasn't the way to go long term
Yeah.
for us.
Yeah.
So hopefully this will go down. But yeah, I have a support item open. Let's see if support got back to me on anything. But yeah, delete all buckets. I had issues with connecting a bucket. I've had that open for 10 days, and it just gets bounced
Oh.
back and forth.
Huh.
Just not very good support.
Nope.
Hello, thank you for contacting. My name is Yer, and I'll be assisting you. From reading your email description, I can understand that you would like to have 2 of your buckets emptied and deleted. Please correct me if I'm wrong. This is not something that we can do from the AWS side. We don't have access to any resources, which I understand. However, I can assist you in archiving to empty and delete the 2 mentioned buckets. Yeah, I can take care of this. But yeah, I'm trying to clear it out as much as possible so that they say, well, you understood that there's a retention period of 90 days for information,
Hmm.
even past deletion, that if I get it deleted out, that they're going to say, okay, you owe us a couple bucks for the next 3 months until we completely life cycle or delete it off our system. So be it.
Great.
So, but yeah, just the Wasabi thing alone, just to be able, comfortable in saying 5.99 a terabyte a month. Well, what about if
Hmm.
we have to move this to this, or we have to download this back? It's still 5.99 a terabyte.
Yep.
And
Awesome.
what makes it, I was looking through some different white papers and product papers, and the guys who actually started, I don't know if you're familiar with a backup company called Carbonite. But
I've
they
heard of
do a
it.
lot. Yeah, they do like a lot of workstation and end user backup stuff. And the reason they were the founders of Carbonite that moved over to this option is the reason why they came up with the 5.99 per terabyte is they said, there are going to be a lot of people that have, if you were to equate that to a similar thing on Amazon for like the S3 storage, you're going to have a handful of people that are going to be transferring lots of information, that are going to be uploading tons of information and things like that. And then they said, you're going to have 90% of our customers who just basically put the stuff out there and they leave it. They don't have to come back to it. So they said the average that they're seeing is significantly lower. But to come up with a simple pricing, predictive pricing for everybody, that came out to be the end amount is the 5.99.
Okay.
So there's of course going to be people who really, utilize that and they get their bang for their buck. It's going to be a little bit more if you look at just from a pure in-place pricing. If we were to get all our information out to Glacier, yes, Glacier would be cheaper, but to get it out there, to understand how it's out there, to understand how to restore it, all those different caveats make that 5.99 price much, much better.
Yeah. Especially from a management
Oh,
standpoint.
oh God. I mean, I just don't have peace of mind. I mean, even letting it run for the past 3, 4 weekends, I really don't know what's on the Glacier side. Whereas the Wasabi side, I'm able to go into it
Yeah.
and I know exactly what it is. So it's like they took the Amazon side of things because they're using Amazon buckets, they're using S3 buckets, and they just made an interface that makes more sense. You don't have to dilly dally around. I mean, if I look at this, if you still have a couple minutes,
Hmm.
if I go into S3, and then I go in, to the bucket, and if I want to, that's the bucket. But then you go into the properties, and then all the different options that are here, you have to set up specific permissions and access control list for the different IAM identity groups. And then you have to do the management, and we've got to do the lifecycle policy that takes everything here and moves
Jesus.
it. And then it scares you because, of course, transactioning small objects will increase cost. Everything
Hmm.
is like a layered on. So it's like a la carte at first, but then they keep having, this is going to get you and this is going to get you, and
Yeah.
heaven forbid you have to pull something back down. That's going to get you.
Yeah. Lots of hooks.
Yeah, oh, of course. I mean, to give you that point zero zero, whatever price is fantastic, but let's just look at Amazon's pricing calculator. Let's see if it's. I mean, you you
Oh my
try and
God.
make sense of this, like Amazon
Yeah.
S3 and which region are we in? Okay, let's say we'll change this to terabytes. We'll do 20 terabytes. All right, all right. So
Mhm.
your first monthly bill is going to be this. Once it
Okay.
has to get the information out there, and that includes, yeah. So then you have to do your puts, your gets, your data returned, like which storage are you on? Um,
Yeah, Paul and I looked into this about a year ago because we've been obviously looking for an offsite storage solution for some time now. And everything we looked at with Amazon was confusing as hell. I
yep.
mean, all their documentation, not just the price calculator. It was just,
Mhm.
it's hard to get your head around.
It really is. And when I was able to go through in the Wasabi, set up the buckets, I mean, they had information out there. This is how you link it. This is how you add in your backup tiers. I mean, I had it up within a half an hour.
Wow.
And I felt better. I mean, yeah, so this is the Glacier, but yeah, data retrieval standard. Like this is we wouldn't have to worry about this necessarily because that's only if we have to bulk, grab stuff. But
Right.
then request like put get to Glacier. Uh, yeah, and that just to do that without any of the fuzziness, that's where that $81 thing came up, and that's where Ty was like, "Oh, it's only going to cost you like $90." Like, yeah, that I'd rather spend the $40 more per month than not have to worry about any other fees that are added on.
Hidden costs. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So, you talk about this and data returned and data scan. Like, how the hell am I supposed to know what this is? And then you have to buy, the support contract for $29 a month to try and help them help you, but it just didn't,
Yeah.
provision capacity units. I don't know what any of that is. Like,
Yeah.
I,
I know.
I just want to know what's it going to cost to get our stuff out there, and once it's there, if we have to pull it back in, what's it going to cost to pull everything back in? Pretty simple.
Yeah. So Veeam has tools that work directly with AWS, right?
Yep, and that's what this is here. That's what the scale out repository is.
Mm.
So what it's set up
But
to do. Oh, go ahead.
but it also works with this Wasabi.
hmm
So
Wasabi is basically a front end for S3.
okay,
So
gotcha.
we're paying them for everything. You can see the bucket that's being used is a US East bucket
Okay,
of theirs, but it uses kind of that web interface to set everything up. And then you're going through them. They manage everything on the back end, and you just pay them that one fee.
okay,
What we basically have is we have our weekly and monthly backup sets, and you have your scale out repository bucket or SORB.
mm,
And basically, once these jobs run, you go through let me go back to the backup. Once the jobs run, that one's fine for it failing. Virtual machine storage is the jobs will run to the local on-site backup. So if we needed to recover it, it's going to recover it from that first like local set.
mm,
If that's not available, then it uses the scale out, which is the Wasabi.
okay.
So your first option is it's going to, if we need to restore it, it's going to restore. Firewall thing is stupid. I'm not worried about that. Build to disable LS. No big deal. Is your first option is to go to local storage. Your next option is to restore from those offsites.
Gotcha.
So, but yeah, it works a lot more seamlessly. I basically added in this scale out repository, which is basically just linked out to that account. Super easy to do. It's going to go through and scan. This is the bucket that it's using, the folder where everything is set. Right now, I have it set to limit it to 20 terabytes,
Hmm.
just to see what we can get out there for that. And then we go back to Wasabi eventually. And, that's the bucket, Beam, archive, back archive, and then the different items that are stored out here. And this is all encrypted because they don't want you to go through this to do your restores.
Yeah.
You can't really go in here and do anything because it's hot storage for a reason. It's basically, it sees it as an extension of your existing environment. That's where it was confusing, is I had to go and initiate a restore through Glacier, because Glacier isn't hot storage. Glacier is an archive, and you
Hmm.
basically have to tell AWS, hey guys, I need this back, spin it up for me.
Yeah.
This is hot cloud because it basically is, it's always available to you.
Okay.
So we don't have to go into this. Once it's set up, there's nothing we need to do in here. We don't need to, if you noticed, we didn't have to pick, okay, which storage tier is it using? This is equivalent to using the true S3 or the S3 IA and frequent, which is much, much faster than Glacier.
Okay.
So in terms of the speed that we're getting, the transparency or the predictability in pricing, the ease of communication with our backup option, and the restore process, yeah, $5.99 a terabyte, in my opinion, is a steal.
Yeah. Definitely a better interface, better way of doing things.
Yeah, exactly. It's kind of, I hate saying one throat to choke, but it's kind of like Veeam works seamlessly with that. And I did make sure that Wasabi is a partner to Veeam, so they
Hmm.
know that their systems work and interact together.
Yeah.
I think they also have that listed on their site too, where they're like a partner.
Nice.
But if you search for like Veeam and stuff like that, they show Veeam partner.
Hmm.
So they have a lot of really cool things that they do, and it's just, I said, it just comes down to what's great for them is the pricing.
Hmm.
It's the same durability. It's they take care of the stuff on the back end, and we just do what we need to do.
Okay.
So
No, I'm sold.
yeah, I just like, I told Rob, I said, yeah, and if something happened and I'm not available, or Mike's not available, one of us would be able to easily say, this is how you restore stuff.
Hmm.
And I like that we don't have to go in here and set up, how do I back up stuff? This is basically just the initial setup and security, prompts to it. But now that that's done, there really is no reason to go into here unless you're looking at billing. Everything is done truly through Veeam.
Yeah. Nice.
So that makes it a lot easier. You can see I've cleaned up some of these items a little bit,
Hmm.
daily HG. We have the monthly, which is pretty standard, weekly. But with some of these things I've cleaned up, and some of the stuff you don't have to worry too much about, like server open VPN, guest processing needs credentials. That stuff will clean up, but nothing significant. But yeah, this is definitely the way I'd like to see us go, and Rob agreed. So Rob said he's going to talk to Libby. Hopefully he talks to her soon, because we do need to pay with a credit card. They don't currently do any type of invoicing.
Yeah. She doesn't like that, but
I know I
you might
did
have
send
to
an
make an exception.
Yeah, I did send an email to them to see if there's any, way. I just explained that we're a government affiliated tax exempt group. If there is a way to do any type of billing or invoicing, I didn't see anything for it, so it just might be the way it is. But
Yeah.
if that's what we need to do, that's what we need to do. I did find on the billing section for the site that if we wanted to, we could go back and specify like the date when the invoice, or when it's billed to the credit card, stuff like that. I don't know if there's any value in it, but they did have a little bit of flexibility. But I didn't see anything in terms of any type of billing or anything like that, or invoicing.
Okay.
So
All right.
that's everything I got.
Yeah, I think that knocked off my list here too.
Good. Now I feel a little bit better knowing some of that web stuff, so I'm good there. That stuff is good. I ran a bunch of the JPEG mini stuff so far. It knocked off 145 gigs.
Nice.
So that was pretty good there. One thing I did is I did virtualize Paul's computer since it's in my
Okay.
office. It's not used that often, but I
Mhm.
figure I can just spin it up as a VM, and then
Okay.
if we need something for it, just go power it on from there. There's no point of it staying on at all times.
Okay.
And then the computer that's in my office, if we wanted to potentially repurpose it, we could do that too.
Yeah.
I need to follow up with Zofia about her
Saw that.
system, because I saw that I got the base stuff done, but I wasn't
Mhm.
sure about like the AutoCAD things. So maybe I could see if I can go over on her computer today, and take a look at the apps that are installed, and then
Okay.
maybe see if this week I could try and figure something out to get her transitioned over.
Okay.
So that's everything I got.
Yeah, sounds good. Yeah, I think that's all I had too. We took care of the AGS stuff. Um,
Yep. Yeah, I
web
got the
stuff.
stuff.
Yeah.
Yep, for them and that Zeb guy verified he was able to get in, and it's much more secure access. They don't have free reign to everything. They've got their
Yeah, I
VPN
saw that.
client, and then they have RDP access to those 4 computers. That's it.
Okay.
Um, they
Awesome.
really should need anything else. They verified that. That's all documented. So it'll be nice to start working with them on some of this stuff.
Yep, definitely. And Charity sent out a blast of
Hmm.
invites for meetings, so she's on top of that. When we start rolling in that one. Let's see here.
Is that this week? I think we have a meeting. I think we have one
Yeah.
at 10:30.
Let's see here. So I got meetings every day this week.
Nice.
Um, um, calendar update review.
Which one is that now? Oh, that's I have that too. What is that for? Is that me?
I looks like you sent it out.
Oh, I sent it. Yeah, I didn't think we were gonna. I can cancel that. Um, yeah, that was just basically I wanted to put a placeholder because I thought maybe you might be. I don't like to bombard people right when they get back from vacation, so I set that as a
Oh,
placeholder to go over some of this stuff this afternoon. But we already did it, so I'm gonna cancel it.
gotcha. Okay.
Oh, never mind. No meeting.
Okay. So yeah, then we've just got that 9 o'clock meeting before our flu shots.
Yep,
But
Tyler.
that's just a phone conversation to kind of catch up with him. I don't know what he specifically wants to talk about, but I said, I'll be available till 9:50, and I know your flu shot is at 9:15. So if you need to
Yep.
duck out for 10 minutes or whatever, that's perfectly fine.
Okay.
So then we've got a 10:30 meeting on Thursday with Charity, and Zeb
Yep.
apparently, and then 10 o'clock a Teams check-in meeting.
Yeah. I'm not sure.
Eric's been sending out tons of stuff out for that Teams. Last week I had quite a few emails from him,
Yep. Same
and
here.
chat items and things like that, saying that he wanted people to work on that document. I just haven't had the time.
Yeah,
Ever since.
I haven't really either. I mean, in terms of some of the things like he's asking, I don't think there's a lot of involvement from us. I mean, I've definitely been, if they ask or they reach out to have something specific reviewed, yeah, no problem. But in terms of initiating some things, obviously you and I did a little bit of looking in the back end in terms of approved apps. So if some of those questions come up, we definitely have things to contribute. But in terms of that documentation, yeah, I don't know what really you or I could add to it besides what we already have.
Yeah, well, he's looking for volunteers to clean some of that stuff up, and I don't know.
Not it.
I've been swamped, so.
Yeah, exactly. And like I said, you're getting back some from well-deserved days off. You don't. It's not time to play catch up on that kind of thing. Like I said, if there's anything critical and they need technical advice, you and I could definitely put our heads together and help with it. But I think it's just more review-wise stuff now. So
Yeah. Yep, I think they're doing fine.
yeah, gold star.
Doing fine on their own, right?
And I'm so busy with trying to figure out the web stuff and get that stuff figured out. So I appreciate you taking the time to do that. And I think once the meeting is available, I think when the recording is done, it should send us. Um, I think it should send us like a link or something to the recording, and then I'll
Okay.
just make sure to keep a track of that so that if I have questions, I can just go back to that since you showed me how to do this stuff.
Yeah, that'll be interesting too, just to see how that works, because I've never recorded a meeting before.
Yeah, and I think it's still going until we actually hang up. It doesn't because it
Oh,
records the call as well as the video. Um, so I'm glad that it's
okay.
running along. But
Yeah.
but but at least we got all the stuff we needed, and I appreciate you taking the time to go through it, especially just getting back. So
Yeah, sure, no problem. Like I've been saying all along, the more you know, the more it helps me too. So
yeah.
it's a good investment of my time.
Yeah, the only other thing that came up last week, and I wasn't able to help, is Patty asked if I knew how to create Mr. Sid files. I'm like, I
Oh,
have no clue.
yeah. I guess her and Rob were trying to do something there, and she said that she couldn't get something working, wasn't sure, didn't want to burn up um, the credits that it
Mhm.
requires to make those things. And then all of a sudden, I got an email from her now while we were talking saying, "Oh, I'm going to go back in the office, and now that I know what I'm doing, I'm going to run with it." And, so I need to get a hold of her before she
Yeah,
figure out
let's just
what's
make
going on there.
yeah, let's just make sure before you run with anything that you can walk.
You're right. What's changed?
Yeah, exactly. Google didn't it said to do this, but yeah, that was something unfortunately I wasn't able to help with. But that's the only thing I could think of that outside of me that I wasn't able to help with was that.
Okay, not a big deal. I'll take care of that.
All right, sounds good. I'll let you get back to your other stuff, and thank you again for your time, Mike.
Sounds good. Thank you.
You're welcome. Bye bye.
Bye.